Good.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, Suresh.
Hi.
Hey, you scheduled for 1 hour? Why? It is for 45 minutes.
Hi, Madan.
Yeah, fine.
Other.
Yeah,
Evening.
yes, please. Yeah, good.
How are you?
Yeah, fine. How about you? Okay. Okay, Suresh, maybe can you talk about your whatever the activities you have done in your previous company, right? So the tools, what you used, right? The various, the pipeline related stuff, right? Can you talk about those things?
Process of DevOps Engineer. DevOps. Present project work on and configuring the Terraform infrastructure to the cloud. Related to the cloud. So security five things of branching. Second one is application pointer. I have updated also infrastructure deployment. Alerts and manage the permission cluster of you.
Okay, yeah, good. As you mentioned the Jenkins, right? So what type of role you will do? Only the pipeline creations, or will you manage the Jenkins completely from scratch, from installations and managing the Jenkins, everything, all these activities will you do?
Of on top of your project um, to take the branch you can developer pipeline the source Docker file with the images on top of the list that's created of that particular repository only for maintenance of the creation of
No, I am
that
asking about, did you install the Jenkins from scratch?
yeah
Did you configure the Jenkins and manage?
I also configure the high availability
Mhm.
totally access only for monitoring of the pipeline.
So you don't have exposures on setting up the Jenkins, managing the Jenkins, taking the backups. Those type of activities you will not involve most of the time. That's what you're telling.
Involve in the pipeline field. A particular
Mhm.
that particular troubleshoot.
Okay, so how you are about in Groovy scripts?
Sorry,
Groovy script. So when you're writing, as you are telling the pipelines, right? So
yes,
obviously, I am
the
assuming you should have the knowledge on Groovy script, Groovy
not
scripts, right?
idea about the GUI, but try to
Mhm.
uh,
Okay, so can you tell me about what is the upstream and downstream jobs in Jenkins?
downstream of one job is the job. One job is on top of that. Job is running after that. Job is the two process upstream and downstream.
That's what I'm telling, right? In the pipeline, when you call it, can you give some example downstream and downstream scenarios?
This is upstream.
So,
One the multi-branch pipeline. Jobs are job is one running. Build job is running. After that, to release job in upstream and decided that right click enable the upstream and down. What what exactly the process in the first job is another process in the second job. That is the main upstream.
mhm. So I'm asking, right? Assume there is a one job. Okay, example, you want to create the build, right? So in the build process, right? So whatever the jobs is, there is a three stages. Okay, example, the
Is
source
at the
stage.
test stage
Mm.
and the deploy.
So like that, right? So I'm just expecting some use cases kind of scenarios. Can you give some use cases in your previous experience with one use cases for upstream and downstream jobs with the example instead of the theoretical answers? I am expecting the practical one.
Basically, it is using for Maven or non main pipeline branches are created different because mentioned the microservices container this is single container application on top of that particular Docker file and get the of processes pipelines. Pipelines only the slaves are maintained that particular pipeline source and destination. Majorly part of
So yes, you are talking right. So uh, so how we assume there is a Jenkins is a critical tool in your pipeline, right? So to make the build and that, right? So how you will make sure the high availability of this Jenkins?
it is the back availability the cloud side. Any crash of the server you can
No, no. At a time, what I'm asking, right? At a time, how many Jenkins the master will be running, surviving your request?
that is the
How
process.
many more?
Tell me.
Uh, no, no. I'm asking. So currently, so how many from Jenkins server will be running to serve your traffic? Like, I'm asking whether you have a, will you run the multiple Jenkins copy or will you run only one Jenkins server? If something goes wrong into that server, then you will react and launch the another one, something
Basically,
like that. What is the?
backup the availability as the server already another process the very that particular.
No, do you have idea so how we can manage it? I'm asking. See, assume I am
Yeah, the
expecting
workloads
at any point of time, I don't want the downtime of Jenkins server. Okay,
there
so
is
that
no
is my
downtime.
Hmm.
Downtime is happening up and running to the another running of the.
That's what I'm asking, right? So assume that means I'm assuming you are running the multiple copies of Jenkins.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, if the request is going, right, assume you are the administrator, okay, you are performing some activities, okay, so you don't have the control, right? Assume the Jenkins UA, you are doing some activity, okay, so in that case, you don't have a control due to some reasons. If the subsequent request, right, it can go to the same server only, correct? It may go to the. I'm assuming there is some methodology, example, the round robin the way the request can go to either one of your Jenkins servers. Assume I am running two servers.
Okay. Is the
Okay,
LSP
assume
type?
I am okay. Yeah, there is a two server Jenkins server is running. I am suspecting if any one server the request can come to any of the server, right? In that case, assume I am doing the first half an hour or something. I am working some activity in server one. Suddenly, due to some reasons, the connection closed into that server. The next to my request, right? It is going to the another server.
Okay.
So in that case, whatever the activity I have done it in the server one, right? So how obviously you lose that data or whatever you are that activity, right? In the first
It's a
server, right?
backup in or talking
So how you will manage this type of scenarios? Okay.
type of scenario. Would the load is carried to there on master server, but it is the process you take up in availability. I'm not handling this process. Session is happening, and the other things, but that is the process to the backup server, LTAP server. The request is processing. Um, you can send the another mission is and one master server is another copy is same mission is and address is one dash the IP address server after the address and server is that is will happen.
Okay, assume your Jenkins server without authentication is it not going to happen? Okay, so you say without username password, you can't able to connect to the Jenkins server. Okay, so due to some reasons, right, the authentication is not working even for administrators. The web console using the web authentication, it is not happening. Okay, the web UA, right, the console web console you have, right? So that authentication is happening. So now the scenario is I need to bypass this authentication somehow. Okay, so what would be your approach? Whether is it feasible in Jenkins? Time being, I want to allow the people without username password. Example maybe for another half an hour or some 1 hour, something like that.
Is not happening the problem
Mm, mm, mm,
not access to
mm,
the URL. The
mm,
question.
mm. No. Actually, URL is accessible, but the username password is authentication is not happening. I want to bypass in another half an hour or 1 hour. That is a scenario. So how we will bypass
Is
the
the matrix
authentication?
based of authentication? What type of authentication that is not access to that? copy.
No, that's what I'm asking, right? To do that, you need a web console access, right? You need to connect to that web console. Then you can, as administrator, you can do some activities, right? I am telling the scenario. Even for administrator, it is not happening. No one is now connected to the Jenkins web console using their username passwords. Okay,
Passwords.
but I want to bypass. I want to allow the users now without username password. Somehow, the backend side, I need to do something, right? So, do you know what needs to be done in these scenarios and all?
Okay, the servers are not for the name password for mention.
Mm. Initially, I configured it, don't allow the users without username password. Now, I want to configure it, allow the users without username password.
Okay, it is
As you are the managing Jenkins, what could be your action?
basically in permission. Don't access into the server side of user. It is the handle to add to the groups also for user permission.
I think you didn't understand my question. I asked even for administrator, he could not able to connect to that server. So the user, I'm not telling to the specific user. I'm telling about the overall users can't able to log in with a username password, including the administrators.
Okay, okay. Is the server is not uh,
Not the just a server. Web console, Jenkins web console is not able to.
yes, yes,
Okay, that's
server
fine.
problem.
Okay,
That's the
okay, fine. Okay, okay. That comes to configuration management tool. As you mentioned, Ansible, right? So, what type of inventories have you used?
that again
Okay, so do you have any idea about how the dynamic inventories will work?
for the spinning of all the back of out use you can
Mhm. Okay, so in Ansible, right? So there is a playbook and a role, right? So why we need a role?
goal means
I can write it everything in the playbook itself, right? So what is the real purpose of the roles?
a different goal and handles for the part the server. Different
So the same thing, what I'm asking, right? Whatever you are writing in the roles, right? So I can't be able to write it directly in the playbook. That is like that. Can I assume? Only the role specific things needs to be done only in roles only. I can't write it directly. Whatever I'm writing the task in the example, the 10 task I'm running. The same 10
basic
task, I can't write it directly in the playbook.
directly in
That's
the
what
playbook
I'm.
that way. Basically play, the to different at particular location to
No, no. Can you give some the real uh, the useful things, right? So you need example the 10 task I'm writing in the role. Okay,
yeah.
I can write it directly in the playbook itself, right? Then why I need a role actually separate? There is a concept called in roles in Ansible.
It is the structure in YAML file, but
Mhm.
the whole structure of that particular get the overall stack of software installation.
So, so you are telling it is a skeleton. We have to follow the structure.
Yeah, different
So
follow the structure
without
is the template.
I am assuming without role you can't create, you can't run the playbook. So if you want to run the playbook internally, you must have at least one role.
Exactly. The role is run.
No. I am asking without role I can't run the playbook. Without role I can't run the playbook. If you want to run the playbook, at least a minimum one role should be there.
Maybe action environment is what happens.
No. That's what I asked clearly. Without when you are running the playbook, is it mandatory to have at least a minimum one role? That's what I asked.
Okay. Something happened and that one service.
Okay. Okay. Example in the role, right? So there is one role in the playbook. Okay. So that role is having the 10 task. Okay. The 10 task it is having. So when you run the playbook, okay. So it will run all the 10 tasks. Due to some reasons, I want to run only specific task only certain time.
Okay.
Okay. The playbook having one role. That role is having 10 tasks. Okay. So specific time, I want to run only out of a 10 task, I want to run only 3 tasks only. So how do you have a control now in Ansible?
It, command the configuration. You can inventory file is there. Addresses pick up that command. The inventory file, the host file, required server.
Okay, so do you have a scripting side knowledge?
Shell update.
Okay, assume in the shell script, okay, there is a 10 echo lines I'm writing. Okay, 10 echo lines I writing. The fifth line, okay, I am writing, there is some spelling mistake in the command. Okay, the fifth line instead of echo, I added a double O. There is a spelling. There is no command called ECHE. Correct. Okay. So when I run this and the shell script, right? So what could be the default behavior? Whether it will, as the fifth line, there is no command called ECHH, echo command. So because of this failure, it will stop at the fifth line itself, or it will execute till the 10th line. What could be the default behavior of the shell script?
Execute the empty.
No. You are printing some text actually.
Okay.
Okay, each and every echo have you are printing some messages. Okay, test messages you are printing. Okay, the fifth line there is a you are printing some message, but that command is having there is no command, whatever your position, right? Because there is some spelling mistake. So when I run this execution, so you are telling it will go till the 10th line. It won't tell. there is a issue in the fifth line, so it won't break it. You are telling.
break the column. After that, you
No, I'm not getting. Can you repeat?
can it is the echo comment.
Mm,
That is the particular middle of the fifth line.
mm,
Actually,
mm,
line echo comment.
mm.
The command is not used. Text is after that. Dot s.
So you are telling the text is not displayed, but it will continue till the 10th line. You are telling.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, if I want to stop this behavior, how you will handle it? I don't want to continue the till the 10th line. Okay, I want to stop in the fifth line itself. Whenever any issue is there, I know there is a issue in the fifth line. Okay, I want to stop the execution at the fifth line itself. So what needs to be done in your script?
Line is stopping.
No. You are telling even though there is a fifth line, there is a issue. It is reaching till the 10th line. You are telling, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my scenario is I don't want to continue till the 10th line. I want to stop at the fifth line itself. You break it. You break the execution, the programming execution. I'm asking how you will break the execution at the fifth line itself. Don't continue till the 10th.
Command is
Mm.
global. Regular command is type symbol of the. Yeah.
Okay, Suresh. I think that's it from my side. Do you have any questions to me?
The position what
Here we are expecting the senior DevOps engineer. The positions we are looking for the senior DevOps engineer who can manage the technical side under the position, right? Few people will be there, and they have to mentor the people, and they have to share the work. Okay, whenever they are stuck, right? So they need to help it out, mentoring them. Okay, there is a place chances for the scripting side also. We are looking the program as the DevOps engineers, right? So obviously we have to share or develop some script as automation purpose, right? So we should be the people should be good enough in the any one of the scripting language.
rebel. The rebel.
Yeah, that's what, right? There you have some set command is there, right? There itself, right? So the set hyphen eh, right? So if you mention here set hyphen ex, if you made it in the first line itself, your program, then obviously wherever any error is there, it will exit there itself.
That command.
The bin bash set command is there, set hyphen e something is there, or e or x will be there. Okay, so wherever is there any error, it will break the execution there itself. It won't continue till it.
The con-
I want to stop that continuation, right? Wherever any program issue is there, you have to stop or terminate the execution from there itself, right? So for to handle that scenario, if you add set hyphen ex in the first line of your program, first line of before the echo command, right? If
Okay.
you put it, it will do the necessary things.
How to manage the
No,
text
10.
type.
Yeah, it's a text. It's a SH file. Just a shell script file. I'm just you are writing the 10 echo commands. That's it. The same the same shell script you can write in the top itself. You can write mention set hyphen ex if you made it. Then wherever any error occurs, the execution will stop there itself.
what type of Python you are
Yeah.
activity? What type of
It can be anything. Sometime you may have to write the Python script. Sometime you may be in Shell script.
what
Yeah,
module
as you are using in Jenkins as a DevOps engineer, you have to write the Groovy script.
the programmer something also but creative pipe uh,
Mm, mm,
group pipeline.
yeah, it's a declarative pipeline, right? So there we are using.
Creative pipeline is separate.
Mm.
Yeah,
Here,
using
if we need any custom script, something validations or something programmatically we have to handle, you have to write the Groovy script as well in your pipeline script.
the total the application. What type of
No, no, I'm not getting.
what type of end-to-end ACI that is the
So
application is
we have
deployed
the
into the
pipelines. We have the separate pipelines, not in Jenkins. We have the separate pipelines in AWS.
code pipeline.
AWS code pipelines. So we are using Jenkins for some other purposes to trigger those pipelines for some other purpose. We are using the Jenkins. So we are not using Jenkins. Mhm.
Totally the application
Completely, we are in AWS code pipelines. Most of the things we are using the native code pipeline. AWS native code. Most of the services we are using completely in AWS services.
process to this, what type of programming Java application
That
you are using.
stack was, yeah, it is having a lot of PHP, Python, Java,
Deployment,
Node.js.
what type of deployment is
Yeah, the code pipeline we are using, right? AWS code pipelines, right? So there we will use shell script, Ansible.
what environment do you deploy?
What?
What environment to for application that is the Kubernetes.
Okay. Yeah. Not in Kubernetes. We have ECS, EC2, Lambdas.
Yeah, Lambda is used environment.
Mm, mm, Lambda, we have it. Some of the applications in Lambdas, ECS.
You are writing in Boto 3
Yeah, we'll use.
environment.
Correct. Python means we'll use Boto 3 shell scripts.
Also, that is the different teams organize
Mhm.
the creation of the deployments.
Okay.
That is the one, not a administrative permission, but Kubernetes is also minimum just file some permissions about the Helm charts, the application, the website, anything, the WordPress, what type of pages is running there of the time. Token is generated, the particular timings are there, the cron jobs are running, tokens are generated, that particular microservices are using.
Yeah. Anything else? Suresh?
Oh, Madhu, your name is,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah, Mother.
mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your
Okay.
time.
My my request is you push the next round of what type of next but the real time code stack is only for or tools and technology.
No, we are using Ansible, Jenkins. Okay. Okay. So here we have the AWS Lambda. So wherever the automation is required, we will support it. The pipeline creations using the cloud formations, templates.
Running project
No, it is running actually. We have a product. We have our own product. We are supporting the activities from automation from dev to production. Okay.
Very happy with people are
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
likewise.
Suresh. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.